We're back breaking down positions for training camp. You missed it. We did a linebacker video where the competition is heating up over there. But today's video, we are doing the wide receiver room. There's a lot of
There is a lot of them. Don't
them.
suspect to keep them on.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird though because it's hard. It's hard to be excited about anybody in particular because like every day they're saying somebody dominated, but
Yeah.
then also like they're saying it, so it's like I'm not gonna be mad either. You know what I mean?
I mean, we could start with who do you think is going to obviously make this team? Is there anybody that just stands out? You're like, all right,
I
this
think Nico Collins for sure makes the team.
okay.
Metchie being a first round pick for sure makes the team. I think Tank Dell was a third round pick. He's making the team. Noah Brown was signed, and I really heard a lot of good things, so he makes the team. Is that 4 already?
4, yeah.
I don't think it's beyond belief that we keep Xavier Hutchins and Robert Woods. 6.
That's what I feel like the 6 are like for sure. That's what you keep hearing about. I mean, going veteran wise first, I guess Robert Woods is arguably the biggest veteran we have out there for receivers. He's been the leader of the wide receiver room. Um, I did see a few plays of him. I mean, he looks healthy. He looks like I don't want to say old Robert Woods, but he looks like he can contribute on a team.
So the way I figure it is like this. Let's not confuse ourselves in the sense that like, oh, who's wide receiver 1 and 2 and 3, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I feel like we really don't know how we're gonna play football, like what the offensive scheme is. But if we're gonna play in the way that I suspect, or at least the direction I think we'll go, I think you'll see a lot of like package changing, like within the drive. So like you may see Robert Woods a lot in the beginning, but then more Metchie and Tank later. But I do believe that Brown and Collins are going to get a lot of run because Brown could play the slot, he could play the outside. Nico Collins is probably your best outside that we know of. So I wouldn't mind. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them a lot.
Yeah. And we've talked about it. When they signed Noah Brown, he was an exceptional blocker. And then now you hear about what he's doing catching and how he's leading those guys. What was a role that we thought Woods was going to have, and now it seems like Noah Brown's like, nah, hold on, bro, I
Yeah.
got this.
Well,
And
it's also like a player like Hutchins. I think that he probably has the most potential to like shock people with what he can do, but you're gonna have to do it because you're gonna be like kind of the last man on the totem pole a little bit. Only because like you're a 6th-round pick, they're not just gonna throw you in front of Robert Woods and Noah Brown, but they will let you take it. So we
yeah,
just have to wait for that process to play itself out.
I mean, you look at him, he's Nico 6'4", Xavier 6'3", Noah's 6'2", Woods is 6, and then you got Michi and Tank, which are the smaller ones. Um, but what we've seen in Xavier, or a lot earlier now, not too much. You haven't really heard from a lot, but that's also because of the QB battle going on. Um, they're definitely. It's funny because when you saw Amari skip town, it felt like he was number 7 anyway.
Yeah.
So these 6 that we have here, I think you said it best though. I'm not going to focus on who's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But who out of these guys do you think will be, I guess, the breakout out of the group?
Metchie.
Metchie?
Because he immediately is going to get the opportunity, and the dude can just flat out run a fucking route. Like the dude is going to break some people down, and it's going to look good. And like, there's a reason that we drafted you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think he's gonna shine through,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I mean, you look. Everybody's all eyes are on Tank Dell being drafted this year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think for more of him, it was more of that dual threat. I'm going to use you in
Mm-hmm.
special teams, but you'll also be a receiver. So for me, I do think that, I mean, just what we've heard of Michi alone, I honestly do feel that Michi is going to have a quote unquote breakout season with CJ, and you see the videos and who they talk about, like who he's connecting with.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot about him and Michi, him and Michi, him and
And
Michi.
it's also just like stylistically, like think about it. Like I don't think anybody in the league is going to respect us enough to like double team anybody. Like they're
Yeah,
going to play us straight up. Okay, give Metchie some ones. He'll win those. You know what I'm saying? And once he starts winning those, then you can do other shit. I just see him like old Demarius Thomas kind of plays where you bubble screen him off the line and just let him go. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That kind of stuff. And then they press and he gets by. I just think Metchie's that good. So Metchie's going to be my star by the end of the season. I'm hoping at least.
Is this the final straw for Nico Collins? Like make it or break it?
It's gonna be pretty close, bro. It'll be like the only way that you can survive having a really shitty season is if like Robert Woods or Noah Brown does worse than you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's what it's gonna come down to me. It's always been that way. It's like you just have to don't be the worst one in the room because that's who's gonna get gone.
yeah. And like I feel like if it's one of the rookies, it's like okay,
They're
you're a
rookie.
rookie. All right, you got a lot to learn. But if it's one of the veterans, then that's when it's like this rookie's outplaying you, or these rookies are outplaying you. All right, you may have to. We may have
But
to see
that's
what
why
else
I
is out
feel
there.
like Noah Brown or Robert Woods, I hate to say this, one of them has a real big potential to let us down this year. I don't know which one it's going to be, and the reason I say that is because they both specialize in playing in the slot. Well, guess what? Dalton Schultz is working there, and I heard he's been making like amazing one-hand catches and shit. So like he has to operate in the middle of the field too.
That for me, I feel like with I was gonna bring up Schultz, and I'm glad you did. I feel that it's weird because I saw Noah Brown work with Schultz a lot in Cowboys games, so I feel like with his blocking, it's gonna help him stay on that field a lot more than Robert Woods will.
Yeah,
And Robert Woods, I feel like we've said it though. If you stay, it's you're that voice in there. You're the
yeah.
veteran voice in there. Like, hey Xavier, hey, do this, and so that's where your position will be, even if you are the worst one on this team.
To me, he's one of those dudes where like you benefit us more doing that because you're the kind of dude who could come in and kind of only play this set of downs, but you're gonna keep the ball moving. Like, hey, go play the tight end role a little bit and just give me first downs, give me 5 first downs or something. You know what I mean? And then you probably won't play the rest of the game. And I think he might be cool with that.
Yeah, I mean he's dealt with injuries. He's coming off of major injuries. Still getting your paycheck. You're still playing the game. If your team's winning, he looks like a all around team player. I mean, most of these guys seem to be it. Um, Out of the rookies, Tank Dell, all eyes are on him, but Xavier Hutchinson has, you said it, man, I think right after draft, you're like, this is going to be a guy that if he blows up, you're not surprised on it
Mm-mm,
at all.
at all. Because like he's gonna take when given the opportunity, all the things that Noah and all them guys are good at, he's just gonna do it better. So he's
Yeah.
going to be perfect for what we're going to try to do once we figure out how to get him to do all of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like make you a more complete pro player. That's why I say you just have to let him play it out, like learn how to be a pro player. You know what I mean? And he's going to help us. I like him. But I just feel like our slots and tight ends and our scat back and Singletary now, we're going to be so good around the line of scrimmage and working in the middle of the field that your outsides are going to have advantages sometimes. That's why I think Metchie and Collins will do okay.
Oh, yeah. And looking back at the whole offense as a whole, those two alone, from the plays that we've seen, the long balls, the magical stuff that CJ has been doing. I get it's practice, it's training camp, but Nico and John Metchie have been like the two guys that he's been focused on deep. And if Nico plays this way, we've seen this before though, but if he plays that way with his quarterback, it feels like all right, bro, you're
Hey,
set.
I think that if you could figure out a way to keep Tank Dell's release off the line clean, he'll benefit from that. Like that's my only worry about putting him on the outside. They'll just press him and then he can't go nowhere. But if you can play like some sort of motions where he runs like a wheel and just go up the sideline, all they accuse CJ4 at Ohio State was like, all he does is throw receivers open. Okay. Well, I got two receivers who run really good routes with a good release. So I don't mind him throwing Tank Dell open 50 yards up the field. I would like to see more of that this year, more deep balls, because you have the arm. I use the best ball I've seen throw it at the combine. Let it loose.
Yeah. And looking at like our wide receiver core, we're ranked one of the worst in football right now. A lot of people have no faith in this wide receiver core. And D'Amico said, he goes, they're going to surprise a lot of people. The competition, like we said in the linebacker line, iron sharpens iron. CJ leading your offense with two running backs, Dalton Schultz out there.
Is it a little bit relieving to you for the first time that we don't have a number one receiver and you feel like you have to appease somebody?
Yes.
That we can actually just try to run a football offense,
yes.
like in totality, and let the stars shine through.
That's
like,
why
I feel that way too.
That's why I wasn't mad when we traded Cooks.
Me
because those games that he was out, we just played football. The games that he was in there, I had to feed you the freaking ball. And for me with CJ, it's like, dude, just whoever's open.
Yep.
Whoever's open. And if you need your security blanket, Dalton's right there.
Yep.
It's like you have your running backs, and the running backs look to be working well together and everything. So it's, for me, that I don't see any one of them being like, oh, wide receiver 1, 2, 3, because at any given point I could see this guy blowing up or that guy blowing up or this guy.
Also, plus, if you consider, and I hate to keep doing this, but it's like my go-to reference. If you look at San Francisco, like, do they have a real number one? It's like, we know who their best is, but is that a number one? It's just the way that they scheme and call plays. It's like gets everybody kind of involved. So that's why I don't harp on the who's the number 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, no, everybody does what they're supposed to. This scheme will get somebody open.
Yeah, and even with teams with their number ones, I mean, sometimes they'll get shut down, double teamed, whatever, and you got to go out there and do it. Tennessee with your one of your number one.
I mean, not even hating, even the best, like Justin Jefferson. Go back to that playoff loss they had. He dominated the first half and he didn't do shit. And it's like they literally like, okay, you're done. We're not giving you nothing.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. If your other guys around you are not contributing in a way, it's easy to, in the NFL, for them to scheme around it and figure out, all right, we're going to stop this.
Would you say that kind of is the thing for this team, the whole Texans team in its entirety? This is the first time it didn't feel like our team was top heavy, like top loaded with stardom and then a bunch of guys. It feels different.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we're an all-around team, it feels like, even if we don't get the credit for it. For sure, I look at teams that are top heavy in our division.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't see how you're a better team than me just because you have top heaviness. Yeah, Derrick Henry or I don't see it. And even I don't even see it when you look at how the only team that I can say has a better, in our division, that has a better wide receiver core than us is Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But then, like the football fan, I mean, it's like, okay, y'all have better receivers. Y'all's quarterback is good. Y'all's running game is good. But y'all's O-line sucks. So we know how, like, there's a weekness there. That's a big weakness. Big weakness right there.
A big weakness. As Texas fans, we know what happens when your O-line sucks. It's hard.
I would actually say that might be the one position group I'm a little worried about. Because every time I see something, and we'll talk about this in another video, but every time we see something, it makes me nervous.
Yeah, the O-line is another topic for sure we got to bring up. Just hopefully injuries stay away from receivers. Metchie, keep it up. It's good to see you back out there. Nico, keep it up. Noah,
just be big, bro. Everybody go get you close to 1,000. I don't need you to go get 2 Gs like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Just contribute, do your part. One day it could be one.
Before we go, let me ask you this. Do you also think that this still might be a more run dominant offense anyway. So like we're putting too much emphasis on
Yes.
receivers. Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking too.
I honestly feel like the biggest with them going with their 2 running backs that they said they're going to use, and then Dalton right there, I do feel like those are going to be your 3 weapons per se. So
we'll talk about that in the O-line video.
Yeah. All right, Houston fans, make sure you like, subscribe for more Texans stuff. We got you covered. You can check out the linebacker video we did. You can check out our other mini camp and training camp videos. We got a lot more coming up. Preseason is right around the corner. So we'll be doing some of the videos talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, everything else about it. Y'all make sure to stay hydrated because it's hot as hell out there. And we are
miserably hot.
Later.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.